All right, hi everybody, welcome back. Tonight we're gonna be making a specially requested dish. We're gonna make vegetarian chili. It's something that my family eats frequently when we're having a meat-free night. One of my daughter Jocelyn's friends, Olivia, came over one night and got a bowl of it and she really liked it. She's a little vegetarian. And so we're gonna make it tonight and everybody can learn a new meat-free meal for their families. This one is, I like to make sure I'm very clear, we're not substituting meat. So this is vegetarian. There's no pretend meat in this. Pretend meat sucks, it's not good. We're making the chili have similar textures to regular chili, and my meat-eating children and husband kill this chili every time I make it. So hang in there, all you meat eaters. This is super, super healthy. It has tons of protein in it and it really fills your belly and it's gonna make you feel good and not heavy from eating it. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna be using tonight for our ingredients. We have a big old onion here. I don't care what kind of onion you use, just don't use a red one. A white, yellow, sweet, follow your heart. We've got corn. This is not a Texas normal addition to chili, but my kids love corn. We live in the Midwest. They would eat corn at every single meal if I let them. We got carrots, and these carrots are diced up pretty tiny. I've got mushrooms. Two of my children hate mushrooms passionately. They will pick them out of everything. So I dice the mushrooms up super, super, super tiny so that way they don't pick them out and they have a similar texture to meat. So we have portobello, like baby bella mushrooms. You can use white button mushrooms if you want to instead. It doesn't really matter what mushroom you use because you're gonna be putting chili seasoning on it and you won't really taste them anyways. I've got black beans. This is just a can of black beans that's been drained and rinsed. I've got kidney beans, and these are the same. They're just canned and they've been drained and rinsed. I've got vegetable broth. This is my homemade vegetable broth. I make vegetable broth every week out of my veggie scraps. You can see I keep a little bag here for all my veggie scraps and I make vegetable broth. I can do another video on that if you guys want me to. It's literally the easiest thing in the world to make and it saves you a lot of money. But just let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video on how to make broth. I'm happy to do that. I also have a can of diced tomatoes and green chilies. I've got a can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. The fire roasted diced tomatoes are actually pretty important in this because my husband can't have any gluten and normally chili tastes smoky. We cannot use liquid smoke. Liquid smoke has caramel coloring in it and that affects people who have celiac disease. So we actually can't use any smoke additives. So this gives that smoky flavor to the chili. And we've got a small little can of tomato sauce here. I've got lentils. There are a number of different types of lentils that you can buy. These are just regular green lentils. This is really important for protein content and a vegetarian diet. Lentils are higher in protein than almost any meat that you can eat. So this is a really important addition. It also has a similar texture to meat when it cooks down, so I love to use lentils. I have, this is masa. This is something that you would use to make tamales. It is a ground corn and it's gluten-free, so really big on the bag here for us. We use a little bit of this to like give the chili that thick texture that everybody likes. So I'll show you that here in a little bit. I use it a lot, that's why my bag is half empty. I got chili powder, cumin, paprika, minced garlic, salt, black pepper, ancho chili powder. If you don't have this, you can leave it out. It's not like an absolutely imperative ingredient. I just happen to have this in my pantry and I love the flavor of it. An oregano, and then I have canola oil. You want to use a neutral based oil for chili. You don't want to use olive oil. Olive oil has a strong flavor to it and it's just not really necessary and it's way more expensive than canola oil. So if you can use a cheaper oil, by all means use it. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and get started on making our chili. This meal actually only takes about 30 minutes from start to finish to be done because we don't have meat in it. So it's fast for weeknights. No big deal. Okay. All right, so I just coated the bottom of my pan with some canola oil. I have a Dutch oven here, a cast iron Dutch oven. We like to make chili in this because it makes us feel authentic, like we're eating in a campfire. We're really not. It's just me. I love this freaking thing. It's awesome. So we're gonna go ahead and get our onions started. My cast iron is pretty hot here, so you're gonna hear some sizzle. Put these guys rocking here. So my chili is not going to be super spicy. My kids are kind of wussy when it comes to spice, with the exception of Jocelyn. She can literally eat anything hot. The other two don't do super great with spicy food. So it's kind of a milder chili as far as heat goes, because Ethan and I and Jocelyn will add hot sauce to ours. Got my mushrooms in. I'm gonna let these go for just a minute or two, and then I'm gonna add my minced garlic, because once again, you always wanna saute your garlic off. It releases so much flavor. All right, so we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. We're gonna let that rock here. You don't have to let this stuff go for super long. We're just kind of getting it going. This is like a kind of throw it in the pot and let it cook meal, which is awesome on a busy night. So my onions are already starting to get a little translucent. My mushrooms are looking good. Gonna add my carrots. This seems like a little kind of a crazy ingredient to add to chili, carrots is, but the chili is so spicy that I feel like the carrots kind of neutralize some of the spice. And it also gives you excellent nutritional content, because carrots are super good for you. You don't even taste them, real talk. They just add a hint of sweetness to the chili. Let those go for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and salt. This is one where I season as I go. And some black pepper. All right, everything's looking good in the pot right now. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add all of our canned tomatoes. Just dump them in there. We love all the tomato juices. They're gonna help build the body of the chili. And then I'm actually going to use my tomato sauce can to measure my broth out. This is something that my mom taught me when I was a kid. So I'm going to use 2 of these little sauce. And that's just about all my vegetable broth, so that's perfect.
I didn't get that. Could you?
Siri didn't get that. Okay. All right, so we're gonna kind of let this start rocking here. I'm gonna add my beans. And I'm literally just throwing everything in the pot, guys. This is so fast and so easy. And it's already like looking thick and delicious. Now, portion size wise, this is a lot of chili. I use this for meal prep for the week for me. So anything that's left over, chili gets better with age. You know, it's one of those things that when you put it in the fridge and let it sit, it tastes better the next day. So I put these in containers and take them to work and eat them throughout the week. Okay, so now we're gonna add our ingredients that are gonna make this chili chili. I got my chili powder. So this is a 2 tablespoon measure. So I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of the regular chili powder. And then I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of the ancho chili powder. It seems like a lot of chili powder, but it's chili. This is like the base of the chili sauce. So if you're gluten-free, you cannot buy chili packets. They all have gluten in them. Most packaged seasoning mixes contain gluten. It's what they use to preserve it and keep it from clumping. All right, so I got my black pepper. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of salt. We can always salt and pepper later, so don't be scared to like be a little shy. This is paprika. My kids love paprika. We're going to use 3 teaspoons of paprika. This is cumin. I love cumin. I'm from Texas. I'm a cumin girl. My husband hates cumin, so we meet in the middle here. I just do 1 teaspoon of cumin. Ethan literally can pick cumin out of anything that you cook. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it gives me a headache. But you have to have cumin in chili. It's not chili without it. It's like sacrilegious to make chili without cumin. And then I've got oregano here, and it's not wanting to pour well, but I'm going to put a teaspoon of oregano in. All right, once this all comes to a boil, then I'm going to add my lentils to it. So I'm not going to be adding the masa until right before we get ready to serve our chili. The masa will thicken it a lot, so if we add it too early, our sauce is going to end up getting thick really early, and then it's going to tend to try to burn while we're simmering it, and we don't want that. So you just keep your masa to the side. We'll get to it when we get to it. It already looks really good, like seasoning wise. Like I can tell just by the color of it that it looks good. All right, so I'm just going to pump up the heat here so that way we can get up to a boil, and then I'm going to add my lentils. Okay, so our chili is now starting to bubble, so we're going to add our lentils. This is probably like half a cup of lentils. I don't know. You want to rinse your lentils off and like kind of, sometimes they have like little bits of like random stuff in them because they're beans, but I rinsed these and drained them off. Get them in the pot. So as for protein, this is something that like when I started not eating meat a lot, everybody was like, how are you going to get your protein? We put kidney beans, black beans, and lentils in here, all of which are packed full of protein. You're getting more protein in this chili than you would probably get from chili with ground beef in it. So calm down. This is full of protein. It's also full of other very important vitamins like vitamin C you get from your mushrooms. And so you're going to be okay. Not eating meat in one meal is not going to kill you, and it's good for your heart. So everybody just needs to calm the heck down. It's going to be all right. Okay, so now we've got our lentils in the pot and everything is kind of getting like it's smelling amazing. So we're super happy with that. Now I'm going to turn my heat down to medium low, and I'm going to put the lid on my pot, and I'm going to let this guy cook for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to come back to it. Okay, so our chili's been simmering over here for about 20 minutes now. So we're going to add our masa. So as you can see, the masa looks, it's kind of like it's ground corn. It's really, really fine. I mean, it's so fine. So I got about a 1/4 cup here. I'm going to add it to my chili. So when you're adding your masa, you don't want it to like clump up. So you kind of want to like be gentle and stir while you add it, because otherwise you're going to have huge clumps of masa. You've kind of learned our lesson here, haven't we, Jocelyn?
Okay, no need to call me out.
Jocelyn added the masa one time, and it was literally like clumpy gravy when she added it. It was pretty funny.
I'm learning.
And it'll like, you know, as you stir your chili, it'll melt down, but it's going to make it super thick. We like our chili thick, like you could put it on a hot dog. Thick. And see, it just kind of like melts into it. It's so good. So now I'm just gonna let it cook for another 5 minutes or so. Let the masa kind of do its job and get our chili just crazy thick and yummy. And this adds this really awesome like cornbread flavor to the chili. If you ever like have bought chili powder or like chili kits before, there's usually masa in those chili kits. I know in the, like when I was a kid, we used this like 5-alarm Texas chili kit, and it always had masa in it. And I don't think my mom actually added it. I feel like it was something she kept out of it, but I love it. I think it's important. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna let it go for 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna be ready to eat our chili. All right, so we are all done. Our chili has been cooking for about 5 more minutes. It looks just absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna plate her up. So I am from Texas, from Houston, and growing up, my grandfather, who was from Louisiana, always ate his chili with grits, and everybody up here thinks that's absolutely insane, but that's how we eat our chili, with grits. It's freaking delicious, and my husband eats it that way too now because he has realized how amazing it is. So I've got a little bit of grits here in my bowl, and I'm gonna pour my chili on top. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so good together. Trust me, if you have never had chili with grits, it'll change your life. Just gonna sprinkle a little cheese on top. And there we got it. It's a vegetarian chili.
Ha. Ha. That's good.
They're good? All right, Layla approves. If you guys like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so we can make more yummy goodies.
Please.